Building a website used to mean spending thousands of dollars on developers or spending weeks learning one of those clunky no-code website builders. But not anymore. In this video, I will be sharing a step-by-step guide on how I create beautiful websites for free in just minutes. Let's get right into it. The first thing you have to do is to go to their website. And I want to quickly show you what the plans and pricing page look like. You can see here they have a free tier that includes 7 messages per day, and you can start right away. And this is important because ultimately 7 messages, in my opinion, is all you need to build a website. And that includes with iterations. If you want to go above that limit, then of course there's a premium plan that costs $20 a month. But if you're a beginner, the free plan works just fine. So to get started for free, all you have to do is sign up. And once you do, you will be presented with this page right here. This is where the magic really happens. Because the first step to create a website is to prompt it. And this is where a lot of people make mistakes. If the prompt is too vague, it's not concise, it's not specific enough, and it doesn't include certain elements, V0 is not really going to be able to give you exactly what you need or a good base framework to start from. So I really recommend you to have a look at this framework right here. I always have my prompt starting with purpose, then I move to target audience, key sections, style/vibe, and then a call to action. And I've actually put together an example of what prompts could look like on my website, which I will leave the link in the description. So you can simply go there, copy these prompts based on the type of product that you want to sell or the type of website that you want to build, and then adjust it so that it fits your product. Now, right before I started recording this video, I put together this prompt right here. And as you can see, I highlighted different elements of it with a different color so that it's super clear to understand the baseline of what I'm trying to build. The purpose is in red, which is to create a landing page that presents my marketing services and lead generation offer, and it explains the value and converts visitors into leads. That's sort of the purpose of what I'm trying to build. Then the target audience. Who is it actually for? Well, I put here that the target audience is small business owners, e-commerce brands, and founders. And it's important that you don't forget to add who your target audience is, because V0 is pretty good at understanding how to communicate the message based on who you're trying to communicate it to. Then we move on to the next section in blue, which is key sections. So what type of content do I need? And for me, that was a hero section with a value proposition, a short credibility section, because I think that's quite important when it comes to having testimonials and whatnot, services overview and how the process works, as well as case studies and examples, and then a pricing section and a lead capture form. Then I have the style, the vibe. What are the colors and elements that I want to make sure that I have? I added here clean, direct, conversation-focused layout with minimal copy, bold headlines, proof elements, and a modern startup aesthetic. And then I made sure to emphasize that I wanted the primary colors to be black, white, and pink. Now, this wouldn't be for me, but I'm just creating a case scenario here where pink could be a good color. And then lastly, call to action. So what action do I want the visitors to take? And that is the primary CTA should be to book a call or to request a proposal from me. And the secondary CTA, if I want to have a second one, which in this case I do, I want it to be to download a free audit or a lead magnet, something that gets people to engage with me, interact with me in a low touch fashion. So what I did was I took my prompt and I added it right here. I'm gonna click the upload button and V0 is gonna get right on it. The model is gonna start thinking and it's gonna take a little bit of time. This normally takes, from my experience, 30 to 60 seconds, depending on how in-depth your prompt is and how difficult it is to execute. But I'm just gonna speed up this section. It actually took roughly 1.5 minutes. And you can see the first version right here. This is right off the bat an aesthetic website, so I like that. Now, turn traffic into revenue. I can see the social proof right above. I can see 2 CTAs, book a strategy call and get a free audit. Then I start scrolling down. Okay, it gives me the types of services, how we work together, more social proof, pricing section, great, and then a lead capture form so that people can register their interest. So this is great. This is a really, really good starting point. But chances are, whatever starting point V0 gives you is never going to be good enough. You will always want to make sure you adjust the text, the spacing, the coloring, the messaging. There's always going to be something to adjust. So I want to take you through the process of what those adjustments look like and what are the things that you want to make sure that you focus on. So after reviewing this primary website for a couple of minutes, I've decided to prompt the system to make the following changes. The first one that I want to make sure that I add is a header section, because in this header, I want to add different buttons that drag me to different sections. So I'm going to say right here, add a header with services, pricing, and contacts. I will then want to change a little bit my social proof section. Trusted by 200 growing brands. Well, I don't really want to say 200. I feel like that's a really, really high number. And in this case, it's not even true. So I'm going to reduce that to trusted by over 10 brands. And then I also want to add one more thing, which is a whole new page. Because chances are, when you build a website, it's not going to be just one page. It's going to be multiple pages. And with V0, you can actually do that. So I'm going to say here, when I click on Get Free Audit on the header, I want a new page to open up with a blog. Add some temporary text about marketing services on it. And now the model is going to go ahead and start thinking about how to implement these changes. It's going to take approximately a minute and a half, but I'm going to speed this up so that we get to the result right here, which is going to be this. Okay, I can see that the header has been implemented successfully, which is great. And if I click on services, it drags me down. If I click on pricing, it drags me down to the right section. And if I click on contact, it drags me to the right section, which is great. Now, if I click on Get Free Audit, okay, it opens this page. This is a completely new page. This didn't exist before. So you can see right here that it added some placeholder text, and on the top, I can see it's /blog. So the website would be, let's say, Marketing Pro, /blog would be the new page. So that seems to work fine. I really want to highlight one thing. When you are creating a website, there are many elements that you need to pay particular attention to. So for example, the number of images that you want to have, the number of videos you want to have, GIFs, how heavy the content is, how long the web page is, how fast will it load when people come onto your website. I know this is just a stage of the design, but if you think a few steps ahead, it will be very important of how competitive your website is later on. And that's why I created Talk to Me data. I actually built it right here on V0, and then I connected it to production and it's live. You can see what the website looks like right here. But in this website, what you can do essentially is run a report for free on your website so that you can see how optimized it is for the web. And having a high score here essentially means that you will have a website further optimized for conversion, which ultimately, that's exactly what you will want to have. Now, going back to building the website. If you prompt V0 correctly by saying, I want to make some adjustments, and then you add point number 1, change this, point number 2, change that, point number 3, change that, you will notice that it is actually pretty good at making those adjustments. And because you only have 7 messages for free per day, you can actually, in one go, say 10 different adjustments that you want to make, and chances are V0 will make 9 of them. Sometimes there's 1 or 2 that they miss. But if you know exactly what you want and in which direction you want to go, you can literally go section by section and say, in section 1, adjust X, Y, and Z. In section 2, take this text, replace it with this, and add this color. With a couple of messages, you can literally build a full website with multiple pages as well. Now we move into another section that I think is really, really important, and that is the mobile responsiveness. You always want to make sure that you come here to the top and you click on this icon right here, because it allows you to see the experience that people would see on mobile. 60% of website visitors normally come from mobile. So this is super, super important. I'm going to review it right here, and it seems like it's okay. There's not much that I would change off a quick review, but something that jumped to my mind was the header section. There is no contact or pricing or whatever other text I added to the header. How can you create a mobile version that doesn't have it? So that's something I will want to change for sure. I'm going to go here to the typing area and I'm going to iterate. I'm going to say, on mobile, the header menu is not accessible. Can you make it so that there's a hamburger menu where I can access the buttons that are available on the desktop version? This is just one optimization that I always look at, but there could be many, right? One example that I'm not going to ask here, but you could, is to make the pricing cards swipeable. Instead of having it as you scroll down to see them, you can make them so that you can swipe. And that also works because I've done that for my other website, Talk to Me Data, and you can see it right here how it looks like. So here are the results. Okay, right away, the hamburger menu is there. If I click on it, does it work? Yes, it does work. And if I click on one of the buttons, it drags me down. Perfect. The functionality is there and the model reacted exactly how I wanted. All right, so now we're really close to having a website ready. I only used a couple of prompts, a couple of messages. You can see here on the left corner that I still have 4 free messages for the day. So I could go a lot more in depth. I could make changes to the color. I could create new pages and whatnot. But for the purpose of this video, I don't really need anything else. So if you click this button right here, you'll be able to see what the website actually looks like on your full screen, which can be very helpful. But let's go back to this page. Now it's time for you to export the project so that you can actually launch it. And there's really different ways in which you can do that. You can either bring it directly to your IDE if you're a technical founder, if you're a technical person, or you can deploy it directly via Vercel. It also depends on whether if you have a domain that you want to connect this website to or not. There's really multiple avenues here. One of them is of course right here, custom domain, as I was mentioning. There is a way to customize to your own domain. Another one is going to be publish as template, but I'm not going to go in depth into how to publish the actual website because that's a whole topic in itself and it requires so many configuration elements that I'm not going to share that right now. But an alternative is to also come here and you can simply download it as a zip file and you'll have the whole project in your computer and then you can deploy it from there. If you need help with any of these elements, whether it's creating a website or it's adjusting an existing website or it's deploying a website that you've created already but you want some help with the next step of it, which is connecting it to a domain and deploying it to the web, let me know. Get in touch via sellingwithnaz.com. This is my website right here and it's in the description as well. I'm always happy to jump on a call and see if I can help. So this was a really quick and short tutorial of how you can use V0 to build full landing pages, full websites for free in just minutes. I didn't go in depth into how you can actually publish it, but if you want to know more about it, make sure to leave a comment down below or message me via Selling with Naz because I'm more than happy to put together a video for the next section. If you want to see this whole tutorial in written format, I also wrote a blog about it. You can see on my website, Selling with Naz. So go check it out. And if you have any feedback, feel free to share it with me. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in my next video.